Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
The world is here.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva
The world is here.
Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva.
Hello, my name is Elvis Sequeira.
मैं हूं मलकीत सिंह।
Hi, my name is Sathak.
आप सुन रहे हैं ग्रेटर नोएडा का अपना सामुदायिक रेडियो स्टेशन सुनो शारदा 90.8 FM।
The
world is here. The world is here. The world is here. The world is here at Sharda University. Where are you?
Viveck Vaswani is an actor, producer, and writer who mentors aspiring actors, producers, directors, and companies. He teaches media education at various colleges including MET, the Pearl Academy, Atharva, and Shamak Davar Institute, amongst others, and also serves on their advisory boards. He has launched actors like Shah Rukh Khan and Raveena Tandon, as well as directors like Aziz Mirza, Anant Mahadevan, Rahul Bose, and many others. Mr. Vaswani began his acting career in India's first TV soap opera, Khandan. He then produced a Marathi film called Kiss by Kiss in 1986 and a major television serial called Nai Dishaएं, in which he acted as well. One of his most famous television series was Kabhi Ye Kabhi Wo. He appeared in hit films like Jab Pyar Kisi Se Hota Hai, Soldier, Josh, Maine Pyar Kyun Kiya, and more. He is the producer of films like Patthar Ke Phool, Raju Ban Gaya Gentleman, Gawahi, Dil Vil Pyar Vyar, and has acted in more than 50 films and now works as a senior consultant to media companies to guide their growth within the film industry.
Thank you so much to the students of School of Media, Film and Entertainment for that AV and the introduction. Now to take this session forward, I would request Dr. Mukta Martolia to take over.
Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our request as a speaker for our virtual conference. So now I would like to pass on this virtual platform to our speaker, Mr. Viveck Vaswani. Over to you, sir, for your address.
Thank you very much, Sharda University. Thank you very much, Ritu. Ritu Sood is a very old friend. I am now the Dean of the School of Contemporary Media at Pearl Academy. I have spent my life mentoring actors, producers, directors. All my films, most of them actually, 95% of them, have been directed by debut directors, and all of them have had new actors in them. And since I was mentoring people over the last 40 years, actually, Pearl thought it would be a good idea if I would come in, because certain subjects in media cannot be taught as subjects. They have to be taught as professions. You need someone from inside the industry who knows the actual facts so that the students get that right. And someone who can teach, maybe even talk, which I do. So I've been very happy. I also make films. I'm going to be making a bunch of them between this year and next year, keeping my foot in the industry, so to speak. But I normally speak impromptu. I normally see the mood of an audience and I speak. And though I can't see the audience, I listen to Avijit very, very carefully. And I would like to take on from there, starting with a very important thing. Why does nobody Not anyone in the film industry, and not academicians, not theoreticians, and not professionals in the industry know what is the difference between an actor and a star. Why does nobody know this? It is such a simple thing if we sit and apply our minds, and millions of children are coming to Bombay and suffering because they have not been taught the truth. So I would like to start by very clearly demystifying this particular aspect of media, films, and cinema, because it's been my specialty. And I had to do it because 30 years ago, a boy called Shah Rukh Khan met me on the road, came and stayed at my house, lived with me for 2 years. And he said, I don't want to act in films. He said, I don't want to act in films because I have a girlfriend called Gauri and she's okay with me doing television, but she doesn't want me to do films. So I said, why don't you want to do films? He said, because I have to hug girls and I can't hug girls. Gauri doesn't allow it, so we can't do films. Then what happened was that his mother died. He came back to Bombay after the funeral and he didn't come in at home 5 in the morning. He said, now you have to launch me. My mother wanted me to be a star. And I gave him my word and we started writing Raju Ban Gaya Gentleman. The rest, of course, is history. But please note my words. He did not say my mother wants me to be an actor. He said, my mother wants me to be a star. And I had to start creating a strategy. So I had to start understanding the difference. So here's the deal. Everything depends on you knowing what your job is, you know, and everyone is completely mystified. When I ask new actors who come to me for mentorship and they say, we want to be actors, and I say, what is your job? And they say, to act. And then by the time we come to they wanting to become a star, and I ask them, what is your job as a star? Being popular, you know, audiences should like me. I don't know. Naseeruddin Shah is very popular and audiences like him. But what is the essential, demystified, templated definition of what a star is? Until we do not template certain things, we cannot teach media, quite frankly. If we are going to be stuck in our own morass of what we think definitions should be, then it could easily be that in an airline, it's a pilot who's wearing a short skirt and serving drinks. We have to be very, very clear. So here's the deal. An actor's job is to act. Very clearly, an actor's job is to act. What do you think is the star's job? Because here's the deal. If we pay Salman Khan 50 crores and Naseeruddin Shah 50 lakhs and one of the finest actors in the country, who's not that much older than Salman, is paid 1% of what Salman is paid. 1%. There's no parity. It's not as if we're paying Nasir Saab 50 lakhs and we're paying Salman 75 lakhs because he's better looking or he has a better body. That doesn't make sense. But 50 lakhs and 50 crores, the first logic that strikes me is that it's not the same job that they're being paid to do. An actor is paid to act. That we understand. He gets his payment because he comes and he does his performance and he goes home and he takes his remuneration for giving a performance. I won't get into good performance and bad performance because those are subjective words. I may think something is a great performance and you may think something is a terrible performance. So that I don't think is the issue. He gets paid, if the director is satisfied, he gets his money, he goes home. So then what is the difference between his job and a star's job? A star's job, let's be very clear, a star's job is not to act. And this may shock a lot of you. A star's job, like any other employee, is to make a profit for his producer before the shoot of the film starts. Let me repeat that. The job of a star is to make a profit for his producer before the shooting of the film starts. So here I go to Salman. I made Patthar Ke Phool with him when he was not a star. I don't work with stars, I create them. And I say, Salman, hey. He said, hi, Viveck, how cool. So let's do a film together. I said, that's terrific, but I don't have dates till 2022. I said, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. How much do you take? He says, I take 50 crores. I said, that's fine. So what I do is I maybe give him 10%, which is 5 crores out of 50 crores. And he gives me a letter saying he's taking my money. He's going to do my film and it's going to have dates in 2022. And then I go to Warner Brothers or Columbia or Eros or Z or T-Series or anybody. And I say, this is the deal. Salman Khan, April, May, June 2022. Here's his letter. I am selling this film for 150 crores. Say yes, say no. Inevitably, after a little bit of haggling, they will say yes. And they will give me my 10%. And 10% of 150 crores is 15 crores. Deduct the 5 crores I've already given to Salman. And I am left with 10 crores to sit on for 2 years while Salman and me decide who will direct the film, who will be the co-stars of the film, and more important, what will the script be? The moment we start understanding cinema, media, entertainment as a business, as opposed to some vague, creative, artistic process, which has no templates, we will be able to understand it. Whereas if I take Nasir Saab, with due respect, then I find a director and I pay them. Then I find a script and I put an extraordinary package in place and I go to the same studio. They'll say, fantastic, this is outstanding, this is superb. Make the film. Come back after you've made it. We will see it and then we'll talk. Now, Salman automatically became 5 crores and 1 lakh cheaper than Nasir Saab. I can't afford. So if you start looking at cinema as a clear, concise, precise business, whether you are a cameraman, a sound recordist, an actor, a producer, a director, the moment you understand cinema the way it is meant to be understood in terms of rupees and cents, and if we translate the abstracts and the subjectives into balance sheets, we will find that we will never, never be lost and we will never, never lose money. And nobody seems to understand it because we try our best to mystify everything so that a bunch of people come into the industry and become bakras. Thousands of acting schools will be open. Everyone is being taught Nasir's job. Everyone wants to do Salman's job. Nobody is being taught it's 2 completely separate jobs. Therefore, there are 2 completely sets of different educations required. And they're all coming and starving on the streets of Andheri in Bombay. And sir, what do we do? What do you do? Sir, I'm talented. This is my certificate from so-and-so school and so-and-so school. But what did they teach you about your qualification? What did they teach you about your qualification? What qualification? I can act. But we don't want you to act. Which director or which producer has told an actor, unless he doesn't want to cast him, that I need to see how you can act? It's not true. Because it is the director who will decide the parameters of your profession, of your performance. So if you give take 1 and it's good, take 2 is even better, take 3 is rubbish, take 4 is bad, but take 5 is the best. But the editor uses take 3 and continuously uses all the wrong takes in a film. It will be a terrible performance even though you're a good actor. Is it in your hands? So let's come to conclusions because we have very limited time. Conclusion number 1. Acting in films has got nothing to do with acting. Theatre is about craft. There you are, there's the audience, there's no one in the middle to help you, correct you, support you. The entire economics of theatre depend on your performance. So actor's medium is theatre. Television has nothing to do with craft. If you are competent, if you can work without food, without water, without sleep, without dying, without getting malaria, without getting COVID day, night, sooner or later, doing 26 pages a day, taking the costume off, putting the next costume, saying your lines, coming back, taking your costume off, putting on the next costume, say you can do television. And cinema already described to you. So theatre is about craft, television is about competence, and cinema is about commerce. Once you understand these 3 C's, then you will normally not go wrong. So when you come to Bombay, you will decide, I want to be an actor, I have to learn craft. I want to be a star, I have to learn business. I want to do both, like Shah Rukh and Amitabh Bachchan did. Learn both. So there are all these actors sitting around in Andheri and they're all sitting wondering what to do. And I sit with them and say, okay, good. Let's talk about how efficient you are. And let's talk not just about your talent, because everyone is talented. But the first thing I tell them is all our grandmothers, and every single one of you here will agree, all your grandmothers were great cooks. Every single one of your grandmothers could cook brilliantly. None of them will open restaurants. Understand what it is. Your talent is not going to make a film sell tickets. The marketing will make the film sell tickets. The producer's attitude and the budget will make the film sell tickets. The way the director has directed the film will sell tickets. The way the distributor puts it in the right theaters at the right show timings will sell tickets. The weekend will sell tickets. The Independence Day one day bonus will sell tickets. Selling tickets is an art in itself. Unfortunately, actors and directors are drilled in their head that there is something creative about this. They come and they disdain that one important thing. They see big sets and they see big hoardings and they don't realize how much it costs to put that. They don't understand economics and understand one thing. Every creative profession has in its underbelly the economics of the business. You don't understand the economics of the business, your father and mother have to be really rich, because then you're doing all your creativity and all your artistic stuff. You don't have to earn money. But if you need a salary, then the person who's paying you that salary needs to make a profit. And that applies to every profession in the world, not just in media. So if you want to be a great actor, but you want to be paid to be a great actor, and you don't care whether tickets sell or not, you don't care whether the film is a hit or not, you don't care whether it gets complete or released, then short-sightedness. And it's very easy to understand once you understand that all creative professions have a business flip side. Unfortunately, the business flip side is not taught to anybody, not to directors, not to actors, nobody who comes into the business. And it is the biggest business in the world today. So I sit with these kids and they're all ready to start becoming stars. All of them say, you know, we know how to act. And then I ask them, how many cinemas are there in India? I don't know. What is the distributor's job? I don't know. What is the difference between an investor and a financer? I don't know. What is the difference between a line producer and an executive producer? I don't know. How are you going to succeed in this world if every single answer is, I don't know? It doesn't make sense to me. The changing paradigms of the media landscape, which is the topic of today's discussion, is exactly that. It is not about your talent anymore. It is about your qualification. Someone is saying voice problem. Can you all hear me? Just 2-3 people say yes at least, so that we know at least some people are able to hear
So
me.
you're loud and clear, sir.
Loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear. Thank you so much.
Loud, yes.
Now, yes, we can hear it. Yeah, we can hear, yes, yes.
Very clear.
You
Thank
know,
you.
certain things have to be very, very clearly underlined. This is the changing paradigm. It is not only about your talent anymore. It is about your qualification, which is why every major university now has a school of media attached to it. The changing paradigms of the media landscape is about various different things. It is not your talent. It is your hard work, your punctuality, your discipline, and above all, it is your knowledge. And that combined is your qualification. You want to be an actor? Yes, 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 sir, I want. Would you like me to pick up the phone and talk to Aditya Chopra? I mean, I introduced Shah Rukh Khan to him. I introduced Sanjay Gadvi to him. He's a very big director. He's directed Dhoom. I introduced a whole bunch of people to him. If I pick up the phone and say, Aditya, meet so-and-so actor, he will say yes tomorrow. So the actor says, of course I would like to meet. So I say, do you respect Aditya Chopra? He said, yeah, sir, of course I respect him. He's one of the biggest producers. I say, yes, that's fantastic. Let's check your respect level and I will pick up the phone personally now in 5 minutes and I will set up your meeting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Yes, sir, yes, yes. I respect him. So I'll touch his feet when I meet him. So, okay. How many films does his father direct? What was the date on which Yashraj Films was incorporated? How many Filmfare Awards has Diwar won? Who was the cameraman of Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge? Sir, I don't know these things. You've just slapped Aditya Chopra on his face and come out. Why should he work with you if he can't even talk to you? He's supposed to spend 10 crores, 20 crores launching you. You're not supposed to respect him enough to know what he, his father, his company stand for in the film industry. If you don't respect cinema, then what were you coming into cinema for in the first place? If your knowledge doesn't translate into, if your passion does not translate into knowledge, then check your premises. Maybe you're not passionate about it. But if you're able to go to Aditya Chopra and say, yes, Mr. Yash Chopra's first film as a director was called Dhool Ka Phool. It was a super hit. The second film was Dharamputra. It was in black and white. The third film was Aadmi Aur Insan. It was in color. It was a moderate hit. With the fourth film, he broke the bank. He made a multi-starrer called Waqt. It was a super hit. The fifth film was a small film called Ittifaq with Rajesh Khanna. It was very big because of Aradhana. Then he married and separated from BR Film and he set up Yashraj Films. The first film under the Yashraj banner was Daag. The second film was Kabhi Kabhi. In the meantime, he directed Joshila and Diwar for Gulshan Raya Trimurti. If I know backwards, when there was no Google, when there was no internet, when there was no smartphone, when I had to go from theatre to theatre, proving I had passion and learn every poster by heart, what excuse do you guys have with Google for not knowing anything? You think your job is to act, it is not. It is your responsibility towards the people who employ you, towards the salary that you get, to make sure that the money comes back. And you cannot do that if you do not know film, if you do not know distribution, if you do not know marketing, if you do not know knowledge equals qualification combined with talent or no talent. I mean, with due respect, all of us think that Jitendra is a non-actor, Nasir is a great actor, but it was Jitu who gave the Jubilee hits. It was Jitu who did 375 profitable films. It was Jitendra who worked with every top heroine. It was Jitendra who gave birth to Ekta, who he nurtured and guided into building a giant conglomerate called Balaji Telefilms. He worked for his success. And there I must tell you that success has different parameters for different people. You have to define your own goals and then you have to succeed or not succeed according to the goals that you have defined. So Nasir Saab was very happy doing theatre and a certain film, etc., etc. He chose his goals. But he made a choice. He didn't do it out of majboori. Jitendra also made a choice. The parameters that defined the two of them was not acting. One chose to sell tickets, the other chose to act. Both have succeeded in doing what they wanted to do. But the bottom line comes from knowledge, from understanding critical thinking, from understanding a whole bunch of stuff that you thought was not important. But sir, I want to be an actor. What difference does it make how many films Yash Chopra has directed? It does make a difference in terms of the respect we will give you. We've been hearing nepotism this last 2 weeks, left, right, and center. Nobody seems to realize that all those who were born in film industries know the job, know the business, know the distribution backwards when they come inside. Just like a doctor's son knows so much about medicine, just like a lawyer's son knows a lot about law because the friends come, he hears, he understands everything. So also an actor's son understands the business. He understands how many tickets have to be sold and so on and so forth. Then it's up to him, discipline, punctuality, professionalism. A lot of people don't make it. A lot of people's egos don't agree with it. Certain actors had egos when they failed and they let it be. But there were friends, Tushar Kapoor, Monish Bahl, who were Jitendra's son and Nutanji's son respectively, who understood that everyone is not going to be the solo hero. Tushar went into doing ensemble movies like the Golmaal series and so many others and made a name, niche for himself. So did Monish as a villain and then as a character actor. And now he's very successful in film and television both. So again, it's a question of defining the paradigms and understanding that the changing landscape of media. And I haven't even begun to start about news. I haven't even started talking about fake news and how the paradigms have really shifted in terms of the kind of corruption that has entered into media. But there is no time. We're already at 5 to 1 and there's a bunch of questions which I'm seeing. So would someone like to throw some questions at me for the last 5-10 minutes so that I could answer them? Thank you. It was very nice being here.
Vivek, how are you? How are you? You're still working from home? Ritu here.
I'm absolutely working from home, and I must be very honest with you, Ritu. I was thrown into the deep end in March when Pearl Academy decided that we would go completely online without a day wasted. We used the weekend to set up something called Blackboard Collaborate, which has different shells for different classrooms. We then made sure that every student had a password which took attendance. And we went straight from that Monday, from the 16th of March, we went online with a vengeance. It was very tough the first week, both for the faculty as well as for the students. They adjusted and we finished our semester entirely on time. We finished assessments and we finished our juries. And now we have external examiners who are passing us everywhere with flying colors because we've actually done it. They will move into vacation. 1st July, we will start semester learning experiences for all Pearlites. It won't be full semester, but it'll be fun things. I'm talking to a whole bunch of people who can broaden their horizon, like Meera Nair and Ravina Tandon, Rajiv Masand and Barkadat.
Yeah.
And then
Vivek, one question that has been similarly, what we are doing also here is that lockdown really put us off our schedule. But Sharda is working, non-stop we are working. Now, the thing is that a lot of questions, which are coming that how the industry will change post-COVID,
It won't change.
It'll change?
No, it won't change. Everyone is thinking that COVID is a full stop. It's a comma. It's as much of a comma as if we went to war with a different country and for 6 months, because there was war, everything was shut. It's a disease. It's a disease that spreads when you are close by. So we have to distance ourselves. So we will not shoot. The cinemas will be closed. Having said that, on the other side, OTT platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney and Hulu and Alt Balaji are building up subscriptions. Forms of communication, forms of entertainment are changing. Entertainment is not changing. Post-COVID, there will be a rash of films about the disease. There will be, just like we had a rash of films about Kargil and then we had a rash of films about 9/11. And then everything will go back to normal. You must understand, in a film industry and a business which is 100 years old, 6 months or 8 months is just a little bit of a comma. As the disease gets over, as the vaccine is found, as it will, gradually things will come back to normal. People will start working harder, faster. Multiplexes will move their customers, reducing prices, giving free popcorn. And within 6 months of the thing being cured, we will be exactly back to normal. Though we will always now realize that, in the new reality, there will always be a scare of, so hopefully people will stop spitting on the roads. People will practice much more personal hygiene. People will not take their health or their life or their diets for granted. People will try their best to live in a more civilized manner. No more 35,000 people in a train, which is only meant for 6,000 people. Hopefully that will happen. I doubt it. But until the next disease, this is just a comma. Really, it's not going to make too much of a difference because it's not. We are buying our stuff online. We go to Amazon or we go to Big Bazaar or we go to Nature's Basket. They've set up internal systems. But the joy of walking in an air-conditioned supermarket and picking out new stuff that you never thought, or taking a new brand because there's a discount, that is unnatural. But even our supermarkets are open in Bombay. Our bus services have started now. Trains are only for essential services. We are going back to normal. So why would 6 months create such a panic that people are thinking the world is coming to an end? And if the world does come to an end, then we won't be there, so cinema won't be. But as long as there are audiences who love movies, there will always be cinema, and television and OTT and theatre will all subsist, coexist shoulder to shoulder as they always have. You see, as teachers, our job has to be to deconstruct and to demystify.
Exactly.
And I had to learn it with Shahrukh, because when Shahrukh said he wants to be a star and not an actor, I had to actually deconstruct and figure out what he wanted. I never asked him to give good performances or bad performances. I said, you have to give profitable performances, understand the difference.
Yeah.
I don't know good and bad, I think Lata Mangeshkar has a bad voice and Asha has a great voice. You think Asha has a great voice and Lata has a bad. I mean, it's subjective, no? So when things are subjective, they cannot be templated. When they cannot be templated, they cannot be taught.
Yeah. You know, talking about Shah Rukh, I don't know whether I've told you or not, we were together in mass communication. We were together in MCRs. He was my classmate.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
And, and the passion was there with him forever. And because that time when our exams were going on, he was shooting 4G, Dusra Cable, and he was doing all that. So, and
as I said, he didn't want to do films because said no hugging girls. So that was that.
I know.
Having said that, I think he and me both.
We have been through that, you know. I'll tell you later on when we meet. So.
But I think maybe he met the right person in terms of passion and in terms of clarity of thought, which is why I think the whole process got speeded up, because we spent 2 years actually deconstructing the industry. We'd go to theaters, we'd count the number of people there, we'd count how much popcorn was being sold. We understood everything. We were 2 kids.
Yeah, and the best part is that he was really hardworking. You cannot say that acting is easy. You have to, like you said, it's a business. And I have seen the struggle. I have seen how he used to struggle. In fact, all of us in my batch, we have seen the struggle and when you did your Raju Ban Gaya Gentleman, I said, wow, this guy is there. He is going to be there.
But I made sure that though I launched him in Raju Ban Gaya Gentleman, it was not his first release.
Oh, yeah.
I told him, until you don't do 4 movies
that was
are sold to distributors, we will not do a 5th movie. One rule, I don't care how bad the role is. I don't care if it's 2nd lead or 3rd lead or 17th lead. As long as the film is sold. I don't understand good actor or bad actor. I understand saleable actor. So King Uncle, which I was acting in, he got in as it was not even a 2nd lead, quite frankly. It was Jackie Shroff in and as King Uncle, and then the 2nd major character was a girl, the young girl who called him King Uncle. And then there was Shah Rukh and Nagma and me and Nivedita and Paresh Rawal and so on and so forth. And everyone mocked him for signing films like Dil Ashna Hai and Chamatkar and these. And he came back and said, we are sitting with this Aditya Pancholi and Arman Kohli and Avinash Vadhavan and Chunky Pandey and Sunil Shetty, and they're all saying Viveck is making a fool out of you because I'm doing 3 solo hero films and I'm doing 4 solo hero films. Rahul Roy. I said, but how many of those films have been sold to distributors? None of them will finally make it to the finishing line. Your films will make it to the finishing line, not because of you. King Uncle is already sold because it's Rakesh Roshan after Khud Garz, Khoon Bari Maang, Khel and Kishan Kanhaiya. And Jackie Shroff after Tridev and Ram Lakhan. Chamatkar gets sold because Eagle Films' last 40 films have been sold to the same distributors. You are saleable. So you have your solo film in Raju Ban Gaya Gentleman. Raju will now not just get made well, but it will also get sold. Because what's the point of making a film which has to go to 200 trials and the distributors say, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai. You want to sort of not understand the pain that an actor goes through when he chooses a great script and that film doesn't get complete, or if it gets complete, it doesn't get released, or if it gets released, it gets a very bad release, and if it gets a good release, it flops. I mean, why are we trying to make this into a gambling den or a casino or a race course? It is a business. Let's do the business. And all the people I have launched, not just Shah Rukh, but Raveena Tandon and Rahul Bose and Anant Mahadevan and Boman Irani and a whole, I can't even remember, directors like Ashutosh and Sanjay Gupta. I say, please understand whether your person has his distribution intact. Does he have the funds to complete the film? What is his marketing budget? If these things are intact, no matter how bad the film is or bad your performance is, your career will not go. After that, we can go to the script. Because if the script is bad, we can change it. If a scene is bad, it can be rewritten. But if your distribution is not in place, if your release date is not in place, what are you going to rewrite and for whom? If there's no one to see the movie, what's the point of giving a great performance? So these were things that I had to learn while I was teaching Shah Rukh. And it's been 30 years, 32 years for us together, maybe 35, 36 years for both of us separately, because I did theatre and television. And there was a lot, there was 5, 6 years of television before cinema. So it's nearly 40 years for me and 40 years for Shah Rukh, and we're still standing and we're still relevant.
Yes.
The understanding of being relevant in contemporary media is the most important thing. I mean, Pearl didn't get some has-been actor who may have had his share of glory 10 years ago to come and be the dean because they thought, chalo, kisi ko industry se lete. They took an active, live wire, relevant person who still fires from all shoulders, who is still a major power and force in the industry.
Yeah, I remember when we met last time. So we were talking about this. And it was amazing.
Okay,
Amazing to have you.
There's a question
Please,
coming
let's have some
from
questions.
Nigeria, and it's saying it's supposed to be international conference. We are talking only about Bollywood. So is
Bollywood is an international career.
no, let the question come.
Yeah.
It says, please, do you have a short program like a certificate or diploma program that one can enroll from Nigeria, mostly for aspiring actors and actresses?
Unfortunately, sorry, you're in Nigeria. We have a lot of courses, but those courses are business courses so that you can be successful in cinema. Acting courses we don't have because I do not believe acting can be taught. Actors have to learn from their head. A director will tell you how to do a certain scene and he will take you through it. But if he says, have you seen Al Pacino on Godfather? Remember scene 62? And you say, I haven't seen the film, you fail as an actor. Your knowledge of cinema will come from the films you see. Every film is a textbook. Every cinema that you go to is a college. Your knowledge of cinema has to start your journey first. And after you start that journey, your skills or your talent can be honed, they can be polished. Your language abilities can be polished. Your poise, your confidence levels can be polished, and that your 50% of your confidence levels move from the knowledge that you have in your head. I'm able to speak confidently because it's here. I don't have to look at papers. If you have that, then I do not believe that you need acting classes, but we do at Pearl. I can't speak for any other universities.
So we also do it. We
Yes.
we have acting.
Yes, and with Ritu at Sharda University, I'm sure you will have, I'm sure there will be one-year courses in digital filmmaking, in filmmaking, and in generally giving you a big, broad outline of what you need to do if you wish to become an actor. But you haven't decided if you want to become an actor or you want to become a star. You haven't decided whether you want to do theater or television or film. You haven't decided. So how can one answer the question?
Thank you. Your Zaban Sambhal ke was too good. And, you know, I remember one comment coming saying that Viveck is saying very Zaban Sambhal ke. I said, yeah, he's doing it very Zaban Sambhal ke. Anyway, that was a fun, wonderful serial. And I hope that many of your films keep coming and you come here also and enrich our students in good times. I look forward to having you here also.
I will definitely call you when I come to Delhi. Once this lockdown gets over, I will definitely
hopefully.
be coming up and down Delhi all the time. Thank you, Ritu. Thank you, all of you. It was wonderful to be here with you.
Thank you so much.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam
The world is here.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva
The world is here.
Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva
Hello, my name is Elvis Sequeira.
मैं हूं मलकीत सिंह।
Hi, my name is Sathak.
आप सुन रहे हैं ग्रेटर नोएडा का अपना सामुदायिक रेडियो स्टेशन सुनो शारदा 90.8 FM।
Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva
The world is here.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam Vasudhaiva
is here. The world is here. The world is here at Sharda University. Where are you?